Alright guys, welcome to another video on Dynasty, and today I'll be doing a complete beginner's guide for those who are looking to start this game. Now, this game can be split into two components in my opinion. One is the doing the matches itself, which obviously will be a basketball game. And doing that, you control the player and have very different actions you can do. For example, rebound, block shots, taking shots, dribble, setting up screens, etc. And all of those, I'm not actually going to talk too much today, mainly because the game already offers a very useful tutorial or practice mode for them. So if you actually click this practice button on the bottom right, there are 4 different modes on how to get familiar with what to do during the matches themselves. So if you are new to this game, just literally try it out. It will be it's actually very helpful. The first 2 tabs is aimed at complete beginner, just telling you the basic, and then the skill practice and free practice, you'll be using that even as an advanced player, just to get familiar with the character, know kind of their range that you are able to dribble, and just get familiar with them before you actually head into the match. It can also help you to defend better as well, because it can teach you about the block timing and block positions, etc. So that's kind of why I'm not going to talk too much about them, because the game already offered that capability to practice. Instead, what I'm going to do more about today is actually going to be what to do outside the matches. So which is going to be the resource management aspect of the game, right? So what currencies are there in this game? What items can you get with those currencies? Which items should I prioritize first? And how do I make my character stronger so that they have an easier time once I actually go into the matches themselves? Now, let's just go straight into it, and I'm going to start off with the currency, because that is kind of the most important aspect, and that's kind of how you can then convert to the other resources in this game. Now, there are 3 different types of currencies in this game. There's the basic gold coins. Now, this is mainly used to exchange for basic item, which at the beginning you will be needing a lot, just so that you can have quite a few characters leveled up to be playable. However, I would probably say after about 5 or 6 weeks, you will find less and less need of them, and instead what you'll be focusing on more is actually going to be the diamonds, which is kind of how you exchange for more premium currency or buy premium characters, etc. Now, there's also a third currency, which is going to be the tokens, and you can only get this by topping up, so spending real life money. Now, whether you actually want to spend real life money is obviously up to you. I personally think you don't need to, mainly because this is, at the end of the day, the core game mechanic is still a basketball game. So as long as you are skilled enough, no matter how much extra resources you can get outside of like spending real money, it's still not going to help you to immediately see that effect during the match itself, because you can definitely bridge those gaps with just being actually good at this game and being skilled at reading the game and knowing what to do during the matches. So that's kind of why you definitely don't have to spend money, and this game I do feel is very free to play friendly on that aspect. However, if you do choose to spend, there's one recommendation I would give to people, which is going to be on party membership, because for this one it's actually a lifetime benefit. So even though you're only paying this one off, $15 one off, you are able to get 100 diamonds every single day for no matter how long you'll be playing. So that's kind of why, if you're actually looking to play this game for long term, the return on this investment is kind of infinite. So that's kind of why it's definitely worth getting this. Now, in case you're wondering why I haven't purchased it, even though I, keep on saying it's a very good value, the main reason is that I don't like the game, the way this game converts currency. So you can see here on the screen, right? Even though I'm based in UK, it still says $15. However, if I actually try to purchase this, it will then become £15 sterling in my Google Play Store, which is like 40% extra than what dollars would charge me. So I just don't really like the way they converted currency for UK players, because I will be essentially paying 35% or 40% extra for no reason, because I'll still be getting the exact same amount of resources. So just take that caution in case you're also not based in the US on whether this is worth purchasing or not. It's probably still worth it if you're looking to play long term, but I just don't like the way this game converts its currency. So that's kind of why I didn't purchase it myself. Okay, now that we understand the different currencies in this game, what can we actually do with it? The answer is quite simple. You'll be trying to spend them by going to the store section. Now, I already created a dedicated shop guide on my channel previously, so I'll probably just link that video in the description below if you guys want to see more details on which item is the most valuable here. However, I'll just give a quick overview that for any kind of gold coins, the number one thing you want to buy is actually going to be the enhanced card for those kind of basic players. You are buying them not because they're actually any good. you won't probably be playing them much anyway. However, it's important to get all of the dupes for them so that any extra copies you get would then be automatically converted to fragments, which can then be used to buy dupes for the more premium characters. So that's kind of why you actually want to buy this out fast. Now, outside of this, so like me, for example, I already reached the limit for all of those characters. I don't need them anymore. What you can then use your gold coins to do is not actually to purchase any of the other items, because all of those other items you can actually get them elsewhere quite easily in the game. Instead, what you want to save your gold coins for is actually to enhancing the play, because if you actually go into the gym section for a player, you can see if I actually get duped for a player, it's going to cost me gold coins to do that. And likewise, if I actually want to level up the partner for one of my players, it's also going to cost you a lot of gold coins. So you can see here, for example, it's going to cost me 10k gold coin just to get the last level for this partner. So it's actually going to be quite expensive. So that's kind of why I suggest saving your gold coin for those enhancing partners or enhancing dupes, etc. So that's kind of everything you can do with gold coins. And then in terms of diamonds, so diamonds is mainly used to purchase the special deals every week, and the main one you want to look for is the superstar voucher and also the superstar tag. Now in this game, the characters can be split into 3 different categories. You have the shining players, you have the star players, which is kind of what those are for, and then you have the superstar. And superstar are the more premium characters, they are generally better characters, so that's kind of what you want to be saving up for them. Now, out of the vouchers and talent card, the priority you want to do is going to be the vouchers first to make sure you actually get the character. Once you have the character, you can then start focusing on the talent card afterwards. So that's kind of the main thing you want to buy. And like I said, this game is actually pretty free-to-play friendly. So I will just quickly show you. Right now I have 10.6k diamonds after playing for 44 days. And if you actually take a look at my backpack, I already have bought 78 vouchers in total as well. So what that basically means is that I actually have right now 80 is the pity, to guarantee a superstar, by the way. So after about what 6 weeks or no 7 weeks of playing, 6 weeks of playing, I can already guarantee 2 superstar characters that I want to use, and I do have some talent card already saved up for them as well. So that's kind of why this game is definitely playable, even if you don't spend real lot of money. You just need to know exactly how to maximize your resources, and one way to do that is obviously buying this pack every single week. Okay, now let's imagine you already got all of your currency, you already used them to buy these various different items. How do we then actually translate them to the players or the characters themselves? Now, the way you want to do this is obviously obtain the character first and then make them stronger. Now, the way you obtain characters is going to supply crate, and you have a few different banners that you can summon on. Now, you have either this elite banner, which you use the star voucher or the purple vouchers on, or you have the superstar banner, which you can use this orange one, and that's the one I was talking about being the more premium currency, and you should actually use the discount every single week in order to maximize how much voucher you can get from him. Now, so that's basically what you want to do with the orange vouchers. Now, for the purple one, there's a bit of a trick that you can do here as well, which is that you have the potential to designate a player every 7 weeks. So basically what that means is you don't want to obviously it's better for you to actually choose which character you get rather than a random one. So rather than just using this voucher whenever you have it, the ideal scenario is that you will only be using them when this is actually out of cooldown, and therefore you are actually able to guarantee the character you really want. So that's kind of why right now you can see I'm still saving up a lot of star vouchers. There will be another 3 days before I can actually choose who I will get, and once those 3 days are over, I'll just be spending them immediately to make sure I guarantee the character that I want, and then I would then go back into phase of not spending any vouchers again till this cooldown is over. So that's basically what you do here. Okay, now once you actually have the character you want, then the next question is how do I actually make them stronger? And there are 3 different ways of how you can make a character stronger, or 3 main different ways of how you can make a character stronger. One is via this potential here. So basically you can equip a few different things to give them extra stats. The second one is going to this gym section where you can just level up a character and also enhance them if you have dupes, and also choose a partner for them. And then the third way would be actually going to talents to make sure you unlock the very different aspect of their skills. Now let's start off with the potential. Now for potential, basically the way you want to do it is that you can have a choice of red, green, or blue. You can equip up to 10 red ones, 10 blue ones, and 10 green ones on every single character, and each one of them is going to give different mixture of stats, so you can choose which one you want to give, and also you can level them up from level 1 all the way up to level 5. Now You can actually reset them if you made the wrong choice. However, for anything which is level 3 or below, basically if you actually want to reset them, you can say it's going to be free, so there's no reset reduction for potentials below level 3, and that includes level 3 as well, by the way. However, for level 4 and level 5, if you do reset them, there will be a reduction. So basically it's not recommended for you to reset anything once you have already maxed it up to level 4 or level 5. And that basically means whenever you actually want to level up your potentials, the way I recommend you guys to do it is you level it all up to level 3 first, and then go through them one by one and upgrade it straight from level 3 to level 5. And that way, even if you change your mind halfway, you are not going to lose out on all of them. So that's kind of why you can see here, I'm working on this potential right now, the rebound and also 3-point. I'll have them all at level 3 first, and then once I actually have enough resources to go straight from level 3 to level 5, then I will do it. And I already done it for 4 of them, and I'll just be working on them one by one. Now, a lot of the times, the potentials is going to be tailored towards your character, so different characters would want different type of potentials. However, there are also a few potential which I feel is going to be more universal. So if you're just starting out in those games, I will call out a few good potentials right now for you guys to get started, because they will actually transferable no matter which character you want to play. Now for the blue one, this is probably the most transferable one, which is going to be the movement, block, and steal. And that's because movement and block is pretty much going to be needed on all type of characters. Now it may not be the most optimal stats for certain characters, but you definitely can't go wrong with the character being faster and also have a wider block success rate. So that's kind of why this is universal. And in fact, if I show you, you can see I didn't level up any of the other blue one. This is literally the only blue one I've leveled up. Everything else has stayed in at level 1. And I have literally been using this on all of my characters, regardless of their position. Now, the red one is also somewhat basic as well, mainly because the red one, kind of the main thing you focus on is going to be on your offensive capability, and there's going to be a choice of 3-point, mid-range, dunk, or layup. Now, vast majority of the time, you want to focus on mid-range and also 3-point first, mainly because dunk and layup, they have much higher success rate if they are not getting blocked, whereas the mid-range and also 3-point, if they're contested, there's already a good chance they won't be going in. So as a result, you actually want to level up just to make sure you can still shoot through them. And also, it's very annoying when you already have an open opportunity and you still miss those shots, whereas dunks and layup, once again, have much higher success rate. So that's kind of why for the red one, what I recommend is basically pick one, which is 3-point main stat, and then pick another one, which is a mid-range main stat, and then you can pretty much swap them around, depending on whether your character is mainly 3-pointer or mid-range. Now for the mid-range one, the one I highly recommend is going to be mid-range block. Once again, because block is universal, every character is going to benefit from that. For the 3-point one, it's going to be up to you. You can do dribble, or you can also do what I have done, which is steal. Once again, I'm going on that, something which has been more universally used on all kind of characters. But it's up to you on what you want to do. But for the red one, basically just pick one, which is 3-point main stat, and pick another one, which is mid-range main stat, and you're good to go. The last potential remaining would be the green one, which I do feel like this is probably one which can be customized the most, depending on what is the character you're playing. But if you really want I guess a transferable potential, I'll probably recommend this one, which is rebound 3-point. Now this one is very interesting because the two stats are actually very contrasting. Like there are not many characters in this game which can use both rebound and also 3-point at the same time. However, having said that, vast majority of characters in this game can at least utilize one of those two stats, whether it's rebound or 3-point. So for example, all of the center will be requiring rebound, a lot of the guards will be requiring 3-pointer, and most of the forwards, depending on whether you're offensive base or defensive base, rebound or 3-point would work on them as well. So that's kind of why I say this is a bit of an interesting one, because it's hard to find characters who will be utilizing both of them. They're only like the 3-pointer centers, which can utilize both skills, both stats. However, this is still transferable enough so that no matter which character you actually put this on, at least they will be able to make use out of at least one of those two stats. So this is still somewhat transferable, but like I said, ideally this is probably the one color that you do want to customize a bit more depending on the playstyle of your characters. So that's kind of everything to know about the potentials. And then if we go back to the characters, the other bit you can also obviously improve them is going to the gym. Now for training, I don't have anyone to show, but basically the item that you use to actually level up to their raw levels would be this one. this energy drink. Basically, you use this to actually max out characters. So that's basically the resource you need there. And then in terms of the other sections, the enhance, obviously you need actual character dupes, followed by coins, and for the partners, you need to either buy those partners from the shop, or you can also buy those partner exchange cards from the guild shop, and then with that, you then use coins to actually level them up. So that's basically how you can level up the characters raw level, dupe level, and also partner level. And then the last section of how you can improve them will be going to the skills. And basically the idea is that each of the skills have different things that you can unlock to give them either extra stats or extra ability. Now, in terms of resources you need to do to level them up, let me pick a character who I have never done before. If I go to talent, if I just do this, you can see for shining players, so basically those free to play ones that you can actually obtain from the shop, what you need is just those green talent card and also the yellow ones in order to max them all out. However, for certain characters which actually are not shining players, so the elite players, if you actually want to max them out, what you see is that it requires, on top of the ones that you need for shining players, it also requires this type of card, star talent card. And similarly for the superstar, it's going to require something else slightly different. So if I go to Giannis and then I deactivate all, you can see rather than the universal star talent card, now you actually need a talent card with their picture on it, so with their face on it. So it's going to require slightly different resources depending on what kind of character you want to level up. Now the green one and the yellow one, those are actually very easy to get. You can actually buy the green one from the shop as well, so that's kind of why I say you will get an abundance of them. However, what normally is going to be blocking you from completely leveling up a character is more actually going to be on the talent cards. So whether it's for the superstar or the universal star talent card. So when you actually prioritizing characters, you do want to pay a bit more attention to them, just so make sure that you are actually able to, only unlock the essential skills that you really want. So for example, for certain things, let me try to pick one which I haven't unlocked completely. So for example, for this one, I didn't bother unlocking the chip out for my Williamson because I just don't really need to use it much. So I am able to save a bit here. So I don't need to waste my extra 16 star talent card just to unlock that. Especially if it's already at the end of that skill tree, then you won't even be able to unlock any of those additional stats afterwards either. So maybe if it's something like this, if it's not too important, you can ignore that as well. Now, something else you can also do to help you to manage resources, that if, for example, you made a mistake on any character, what you can do is you can actually do this reset all, which will actually return 100% of all of the resources you made. And this is actually for all characters as well, for each one of them. So, for example, if I've done this for Williamson, I can still get 100% back on a different character, which is actually very, very nice. So if there ever is need, for example, you need to try up a character just to get past the easier lower ranks, and then eventually what you can do is you can actually just reset it and then move all of your resources to another more OP character once you actually obtain those stronger characters later on in the game.